I Want Revenge, the winner of the Gotham. He's based in California, and his owner, David Landsman, told me just moments ago that this horse is in the process of being sold. Landsman's going to sell 50% of the horse. He's still going to retain control of the horse, and Jeff Mullins will remain his trainer. He wouldn't divulge who the parties are that are trying to acquire this horse, but I did talk to Michael Ivarone, the co-president of IEH Stables. They won last year's Derby with Big Brown, and he confirmed that IEH is in negotiations with David Landsman to try and purchase 50% of I Want Revenge. He said it'd be jumping the gun to say it's done, but obviously we're interested. Other horses to follow on the West Coast. Well, when you talk about the West Coast, Bob Baffert is always the main man out there. 3 Kentucky Derby winners so far, and he's got Pioneer of the Nile on course for this year's Santa Anita Derby following his win last week in the San Felipe Stakes. And this is a horse who was kind of a substitute for Bob Baffert. He trained last year's 2-year-old champ Midshipman, lost that horse to another trainer. The horse went to Dubai. Now he's got him. His main rival is going to be the Pamplemousse, who comes off a win in the Sham Stakes last time out. Those two headed to the April 4th Santa Anita Derby. For more on another regional, here's Janine Edwards.
Well, Jay, I've got my brackets filled out, and my top 4 seeds in the Midwest are making an impact nationally as well, and trainer Larry Jones has 2 of them. Jones told me this morning that Freezing Fire is teetering on a peak performance, so he's 90% sure the colt will not have another race before the Derby. He ships to Kentucky tomorrow. Jones told me for Old Fashioned, it's getting to be crunch time. He said his next race is going to be critical, so he's making a rider change. Terry Thompson will be on board for the Arkansas Derby, April 11th. Speaking of that race, Rebel winner Win Willie's people say they are fine turning down a $3 million offer for their colt. He'll be in the Arkansas Derby as well. And some of the most dazzling performances this spring have come at the hands of a filly. Rachel Alexandra's connection said they were leaning towards the Kentucky Oaks, but Hal Wiggins told me this morning, now the Derby door is open. And for some on the East Coast, here's Hank Goldberg.
Well, just a few weeks ago, I saw Dunkirk's second race. It was 1 1/8 an allowance, but it had a quality grade 3 field. His turn of foot was amazing. He looked like a freak, and I say that as a compliment. I freaked out over his performance, called the producer of this show and said, get the footage. You'll see him next week in the Florida Derby. He might just be special. I Want Revenge came east, got off the synthetic turf from out west, got on the dirt, and was a different horse. We claim him now as an East Coaster. Out of that same race, by the way, if you're looking for a long shot play for your Derby future bet, you might want to consider Imperial Council out of the McGahee barn. He's on the improve.